So going into 2023, not only do I think the Mariners are missing on outfield depth and the bullpen depth, but there's another component that they are missing. The Mariners commercials, which is another critical offseason move that the Mariners do need to make, is make those commercials again, because it has been since 2019 since they made those commercials, and I think we might have a reason why there hasn't been any commercials since, and I don't think I have to bring it up, and I don't want to. Anyways, before the commercials are to be released, which I hope they do, maybe like March, because I think March or late February is usually when they are released. So in honor of that, before those release dates of whenever that is, I'm going to be reacting to every Mariners commercial that has been released since. I'm going to start at around 1994. I'm going to skip all the 1980s ones for now, because when I took a nice look at them,
hey everybody, gather round! Disco Danny's back in town! Loosen up! Loosen up!
yeah, they were kind of cringe. And I think it's safe to say that the 1980s don't really have much of a nostalgic value. Now, if you think it does, let me know in the comments and tell me that I'm wrong. So I'm going to go over the 1994 Seattle Mariners commercials.
I don't know what it is, Dr. Bonella. My life just isn't going the way I'd planned it. Every time I turn a corner, there's some sort of...
Whine, whine, whine. I've had it with your excuses.
Yeah.
You're acting like a loser.
But
you want therapy?
Yeah.
I'll give you therapy. Get off your duff, get out of here, and make something happen. Do I make myself clear?
Aren't you glad he decided to manage the Mariners instead?
Next.
Piniella has erupted. He's gone out to home plate, covering home
Call
plate
for
with
season
the-
tickets.
Actually, that is a therapist that I could use, Lou Piniella, because he just gets straight to the point, just tells you to not make excuses, no self-victimizations, just go out there, make something happen, just get through all of those troubles that you're going through. Now, granted, it's not for everyone. I'm sure there are those that want their therapist as if they are their best friend, but for a therapist like him, I'll take him. Could be some good motivational speaking. And I did like at the end of the commercial where it had Dave Niehaus announcing that Lou Piniella was basically arguing with the umpire. I thought that part was hilarious.
Piniella has erupted. He's gone out to home plate, covering home
Call
plate
for
with
season
the-
tickets.
I think that is the best commercial I've seen for 1994 so far, and that's only the first one, so maybe the next ones will be better.
Good morning, Dr. Vazio.
Morning, Mr. Weinstein. We're not going to need Novocaine for that today.
Chris Bosio was the starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners from 1993 to 1996.
2-1 pitch, ground ball over the middle, charged by Vizquel, barehands and a no-hitter.
Just relax. Just relax.
You know, if you don't sit still, I can't get the right one. Oh, how'd that feel?
If he pulled my tooth, I wouldn't want him doing anything with my teeth ever again.
Hold still.
You got it. Oh,
Aren't you glad he decided to pitch for the Mariners instead?
Oh, you all right?
Yes, I'm glad that he pitched for the Mariners instead of just being a dentist.
And Bosio has done it! What a performance!
Call for season tickets.
So Chris Bosio, he was actually a pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers before he joined the Seattle Mariners, and he was actually, I guess, a high-profile free agent signing for the Seattle Mariners in 1993. He did post some very decent numbers for Milwaukee, and signing Chris Bosio gave the Mariners a feeling that he was going to add some depth to the starting rotation when they had Randy Johnson, who before 1993, when he actually became the All-Star, Randy Johnson wasn't quite there yet. He definitely had the speed with his pitching, but his control was just way off. Now, Chris Bosio's time in Seattle was very mixed. He looks like he did show some inconsistencies, but it turns out after the 1996 season when the Mariners let him go, he actually went through 9 surgeries throughout his entire career. So I think the health of Chris Bosio really did not help him. And other than maybe being an okay contributor to the starting rotation in the regular season, he was not good in the playoffs where he got just bounced by the New York Yankees. and the Cleveland Indians.
The 2-0. A long drive to right and tell it goodbye.
After 1996, he did move on to Boston. He pitched in the minor league system for basically a season. And then he moved on to go back to the Seattle Mariners, work with them as an instructional coach. And then he became a pitching coach for the Tacoma Rainiers in 2001, where he was developing the likes of Joel Pinheiro, Brett Tomko, and Gil Mesh. He eventually helped the Cubs win the World Series, breaking their Billy Goat curse as a pitching coach in 2016.
Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. The Cubs win the World Series. Brian makes the play. It's over. And the Cubs have finally won it all.
Reacting to that commercial, I think Chris Bosio is the last dentist I would ever want working on my teeth. I'll pass.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very funny man. Please welcome from Seattle, Jay Buhner.
Here's one for you. Horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Hey, why the long face?" Here's one for you.
Aren't you glad he decided to play right field for the Mariners instead? Call for season tickets.
Yeah, Jay Buhner is not exactly known for his comedy. He's actually most known for his savage sayings, and I do have some evidence on that as well. Check those out.
I remember when I got to Mariners, Buhner, he came to me and said, "Hey, kid, how you doing? Your first rounder. Awesome. Congratulations. Who gives a fuck? Swing hard in case you hit it," and walked away. Like, huh?
Love that.
And I'm 18, just looking at Jay Buhner, like, who didn't, like, I watched you, bro. I was like, he just told me, "Yeah, congratulations. Who gives a fuck? Swing hard in case you hit it." I'm like,
Trumbo, tiptoeing foul ground, and can't make the play.
Nobody's going to touch that one, huh? I like it. You guys are true professionals. Took a bad hop, man.
Now, if you're wondering who Jay Buhner is, he was the right fielder for the Seattle Mariners, played alongside with Ken Griffey Jr., and they were best friends. He contributed well for the 1995, 1997, and even the 2000 runs.
1 of the 5 hits a homer. A drive to right center field. Ramirez going back, but all he can do is watch. It's gone for Buhner's second home run of the night. This one a 3-run shot.
Eventually, he retired in 2001. Now, to remember who Jay Buhner was, he was known for his cannon of an arm, his power hitting, his spectacular defense.
Goes 7 innings, 7 hits. High fly ball by Hatteberg, headed for the bullpen, and it's into the bullpen. So's Jay Buhner, but does he have the baseball? Buhner has the baseball! An unbelievable catch by Jay Buhner!
But also struck out a lot.
Presenting El Rando Grando and his fearless assistant, Impalia.
Did he just kill her?
Aren't you glad he decided to pitch for the Mariners instead?
The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and he's done it! Randy Johnson.
Call for season tickets.
Yeah, if it was the Randy Johnson from 1992, I certainly wouldn't want him doing those kind of tricks. Knowing that he had lack of control, I'd probably be dead if I was volunteering on that. Nah, I'm glad he just stuck to baseball and developed his pitching and became one of the best that ever lived. Now, if I had to choose between my most favorite commercial out of all of them from 1994, I would choose the Lou Piniella one, because the way I look at Lou Piniella and his style of therapy, it's more of motivational speaking more than therapy. I think there should be more of a different occupation for that. Maybe more of a life coach kind of thing than a therapist. So maybe he should have branded that differently. But I wouldn't mind having Lou Piniella as my therapist. And I do like those kind of inspiring things, even if it does have to be presented the hard way, which I do think our younger generation needs, like, desperately. Now, that's a whole different side of a conversation that I don't want to get too much into, but those are just my thoughts. Now, the least favorite commercial of mine was the Jay Buhner commercial. I mean, it was just him trying to be a comedian, which He's not really known for being a comedian. He's just known for saying the savage things. So I think that commercial didn't fit him very well. But to answer that question, I am sure glad he played right field for the Mariners instead. Well, those are my reactions for the entire 1994 commercials. And if you did like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And what was your favorite Mariners commercial of 1994? Leave it in the comments.